What's going on, everyone? Spartan Alphazulu here, bringing you more Wi-Fi battle action back in the OU tier. And this time I'm doing a team breakdown, and I noticed that Mega Garchomp doesn't get a lot of love. So I decided to throw together a Mega Garchomp team. And I do like it. I played with it on Showdown for a bit. I got into the 1500s, but I probably could have gotten higher, but I decided to make this video. And I've been playing with it a bunch with the 3DS, more of the 3DS than Showdown. So whenever Mega Garchomp Mega evolves, its speed drops a few points. So the way I decided to fix that is to go with the Sticky Webber. So I'm going to go with Galvantula, going with Sticky Web, Thunder, Giga Drain, and you could go with Bug Buzz, but like my Galvantula on my 3DS knows Bug Buzz. But I noticed that Landorus and other opposing Garchomps are a thing. So you could go with Hidden Power Ice just to give a nice little ace in the hole against those Pokemon. And Galvantula is the Sticky Webber. I mean, his sole support of this team is to get Sticky Web up, and then if he dies, he dies. Ivan the Doggo style. Skarmory is a nice little defensive wall on the team, and he pairs real well with Garchomp. So we're going to go with Brave Bird, Stealth Rock, Roost, and Whirlwind. If you want to go with Defog to get rid of entry hazards, you can, because this team does not have a way to get rid of entry hazards. So, but I just like Skarmory. He's my favorite defensive wall, so I'm going to use Skarmory. Tyranitar is going to be the Sand Streamer because, well, if you're going to use Mega Garchomp, you need something to bring up the sand. And we're going to go with Assault Vest Tyranitar just because I like it. It's freaking awesome. And you'll see in the videos that it's awesome. Ash's Greninja pairs really well with Garchomp. And it's actually a nice little backup to Pokemon to fall back on if Garchomp just can't make its way in the game, because it's not safe for it to, or you just don't get a chance to set up. So just your typical Smogon Ash's Greninja with Choice Specs, Hydro Pump, Water Shuriken, Dark Pulse, and Ice Beam. Mimikyu, I went with Mimikyu because even though the OU tier is just ripe with defoggers, you still run into a Rapid Spinner, namely Excadrill every now and then. Mimikyu blocks that. And Mimikyu is also the Z move, the Ghostium Z move user. So we're going to go with Swords Dance, Shadow Claw, Play Rough, and Shadow Sneak. And this is just your typical Mimikyu Jolly nature, although since you have a Sticky Webber, you could go with an Adamant nature and abuse it more. And for the Mega Garchomp, we're going to go with Swords Dance, Earthquake, Stone Edge, and Fire Fang. Fire Fang's nifty to get to take out those opposing the Ferrothorns, the opposing Ferrothorns that come in, other Skarmories, other Steel types, other Grass types. Especially after a Swords Dance, Fire Fang turns into a nice little move that a lot of people just might not see coming. And for Tyranitar, we're going to go with Stone Edge. On my 3DS, it knows Rock Slide. But Stone Edge if you want to hit harder. However, just remember it's called Stone Mist for a reason. So Stone Edge or Rock Slide, Crunch, Earthquake, and Ice Punch. Ice Punch preferably over Fire Punch because I feel like you see Landers more than you see Ferrothorn. And if you do need to deal with Ferrothorn, you've got the Z move on Mimikyu. You got Fire Fang, you got ways to deal with it. So moving on to the first Wi-Fi battle against LaFlare. And, you've seen my matches with LaFlare. He's an awesome player. I needed to test this team out, and I needed to test it out against a Wi-Fi battler who knows what he's doing. LaFlare just is the epitome of that. He's going to start off with his Zorora, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with my Galvantula because that's the way this team rolls. You want to get your Sticky Web up as soon as possible, and hopefully it sticks, pun intended. He's going to go for the Fire Punch, doing a very good amount of damage to my Galvantula, putting it at 1 HP, activating my Focus Sash. And I can't use Thunder against this thing because it'll just absorb it and get health back. So I'm going to get my Sticky Web up, and I'm just going to let him take Galvantula out of the match here, which that's usually what this Pokemon does. Your Sticky Webber is in there just to get it out and then die. Although Ribombee might be a better choice. I just went with Galvantula because I like Galvantula. But Ribombee is probably a better choice because if you come up with an opponent using Fake Out, it won't flinch. He's going to go with the Superior, getting a speed boost because of the contrary ability instead of its speed lowered. So that is something to watch out for, especially in the OU tier because Superior is everywhere. I'm going to bring in Tyranitar because I know that I can take a Leaf Storm, but he's going to go for the Glare, and Assault Vest Tyranitar can definitely take a Leaf Storm from this Pokemon. Ice Punch doing a very good amount of damage. Sadly, it does not take it out of the match. So that sucks. But I at least put it in the orange. And if he does decide to leave store, my no Tyranitar can take it. He's going to switch out, though, not wanting to lose Superior, not wanting to gamble with me getting Parahacks. And he's going to go with Tapu Fini. So I noticed Tapu Fini in his team build. So he's probably going to go for the Defog, and I'm going to lose my Sticky Web here. And that's fine. I should have seen this coming. But that's just one of the things that sucks about the OU tier is defoggers run rampant. So if you're going to use Sticky Web, you have to do everything in your power to try and make it stick. I know he's going to defog, so I'm going to switch and go into Mimikyu because I'm going to basically bring Mimikyu in without breaking the disguise, and I'm going to be able to get a Swords Dance up and not have to worry about breaking the disguise. So I'm going to get the Swords Dance up. I maybe should have gone for the Play Rough because Misty Terrain is up and Fairy Moves are boosted. I don't know if it would Oko, though. And Tapu Fini is a Pokemon you really just want to get out of the way as fast as possible. Same with Tapu Lele and Tapu Bulu. He's going to go for the Moonblast, breaking my disguise, but I got a Swords Dance up. So there's at least, my attack is at least boosted to, like, I think 588. Excuse me. So now I'm predicting he's going to switch. And I'm thinking he's going to go either into Heatran or the Tapu, not the Tapu. Actually, yeah, Heatran was probably the more obvious choice. I went for the Play Rough, and that's not going to do anything at all to Heatran because it resists it all around. I cannot talk tonight. All around with that Fire and Steel typing. That's not going to do anything to it. So I'm going to go for the Z move because I think it'll take Heatran out. However, the Z move I used was Shadow Sneak and not Shadow Claw. So because I used the wrong Z move, Heatran's going to be able to take this. And that was my bad. That was my mistake. Which I figured all he's going to do is either go for the kill or set up entry hazards. And he does actually end up going for the entry hazards. And his Heatran lives with like maybe 40 or 50 health. So that does suck because I clicked the wrong move. And I didn't do it on accident. I just clicked the wrong one. But it's at low health. I know a Shadow Claw at this point. Shadow Claw will definitely knock it out. So I'm going to use Shadow Claw and knock the Heatran out of the match. Whenever you're using this team, you got to be very careful too. I'll say why here in a little bit. He's going to go with Tapu Lele, and y'all know I hate this Tapu. Going for the Hidden Power, thinking I'm going to switch or something. I really don't know why. Shadow Claw, though, is going to knock Tapu Lele right out of the match, giving me a much-needed break because Tapu Lele is just so oppressive in the OU tier. He's going to go back into Zorora, and I should have switched here. This is why you need to be careful because Mimikyu can be a Pokemon that can just clean house and surprise you in the game. But I probably should have kept him alive and switched into Garchomp. But, oh well. Plasma Fist is going to knock my Mimikyu out of the match. I'm going to go into Garchomp now because I want to know if he's got Ice Punch or the Hidden Power Ice. It's common on Zororas, especially in the OU tier. But since he switched, I'm thinking he doesn't have it, and he went right back into Tapu Fini. Bringing up the Misty Terrain to lower the damage of Dragon-type attacks, which that's fine, because my Mega Garchomp does not know any Dragon-type attacks. I probably should have expected a switch, too, and gone straight for the Stone Edge. Or, not the Stone Edge, the Swords Dance. But instead I went for the Stone Edge, dealing a good amount of damage. Not enough that I like, that I can keep Garchomp in. So I'm going to call him back and bring in Tyranitar. Because I know Tapu Fini can't do anything to my Tyranitar. But at the same time, Tyranitar can't really do much to Tapu Fini. Moonblast is not going to do anything to my Tyranitar because that Assault Vest just lets him flex at all kinds of special attacks. It's awesome. Assault Vest Tyranitar is just a beast. And whenever I was making the set, I obviously knew I needed a Sandstreamer. So instead of going with Hippowdon, who's, in the UU tier, your only other option is Tyranitar. And I didn't want to go with a Dragon Dance set. I obviously couldn't go with Mega Tyranitar because I'm using Mega Garchomp. So I ended up seeing the Assault Vest set and decided, screw it, let's see how it plays out. And it plays out wonderfully, guys. Just Assault Vest Tyranitar is the set to go with this team. And that's just my opinion. But that's how I feel. After using the Nature's Madness, he's going to go for the Moonblast, getting a critical hit, putting me at 14 health and lowering my special attack, which that's fine. Earthquake, though, is going to knock this Tapu Fini out of the match, getting rid of Tapu Fini, Heatran, and Tapu Lele. Halving his team. That's 50% of his team right there. He's going to go back into Superior, who is still in the orange, and but at 14 health, I should have just let him take Tyranitar because I forgot Stealth Rocks were up though. So he's going to go for the Leaf Storm. Skarmory's just going to laugh at this because I resisted all around with Steel and Flying type. Even though he got a contrary boost, it still wouldn't have done too much. But he could also know Hidden Power Fire, which is very common on Superiors. My Superior knows Hidden Power Fire, and it catches a lot of people by surprise. So you do got to watch out because I don't want to lose Skarmory just yet at this point in the match. He's going to bring back the Superior, bringing in his Mega Aerodactyl, and I went ahead and went for the Brave Bird. I should have set up my entry hazards, but I wanted to be aggressive and try and take Superior out of the match. Brave Bird is going to do a very good amount of damage to Aerodactyl, but more than I thought it was going to do. And now I could set up my Stealth Rocks, but he's going to go for the switch and bring back the Zorora. So he's going to go for the kill on Skarmory. I went for the Roost. I should have set up the Stealth Rocks right then and there, but I went for the Roost. And I notice his Zorora is holding a Life Orb. I want to try and wear it down as much as I can because I want to put it in Water Shuriken range. Because at this point in the match, I got to rely on Ash's Greninja to win the game. And Ash's Greninja, as I said, it's an awesome Pokemon to fall back on with this team. It pairs really well with Mega Garchomp. And it covers a lot of the Pokemon Mega Garchomp can't get rid of. The Plasma Fist is going to knock my Skarmory right out of the match, doing a very crap ton of damage. And see, right there, I kind of thought this was it because it took Rocky Helmet damage. It took not recoil damage. It took damage from the Life Orb. So going for the Water Shuriken, hitting it for 1, hitting it for 2, and sadly that is going to be all she wrote. But I mean that's the game sometimes. Sometimes you just get bad luck. And yeah, I mean I lost to Hacks, but a loss is a loss, and the game we play. So the Life Orb is coincidentally enough going to take his Zorora out of the match. So all he has left is that Mega Aerodactyl and the Superior. All I got left is Tyranitar, who's going to get taken out by the rocks, and Garchomp. But for 1, Mega Aerodactyl outspeeds Garchomp. For 2, it's Ice Fang is a common attack on Mega Aerodactyl. So I know I've lost the match here. So sure enough, he's going to Mega Evolve as a Mega Aerodactyl. And since he's faster, Ice Fang is going to knock my Garchomp out of the match. So good game with Flare. That was a very good game. It sucks that my Water Shuriken only hit twice, but I mean that happens. Very good game. It's always awesome playing against LaFleur. So moving on to the next match against Prinz, and looking at his team, he's got a Metagross, and I didn't see any other Pokemon that could even qualify as the Mega. So that tells me that even though Metagross is Uber, it's probably the Meta, which I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. It happens. I don't even think Metagross should be Uber to begin with, if I'm being perfectly honest. I'm going to go for the Thunder and Dodge, Duck, Dip, Dive, Dodge. And then going for the Gunk Shot, my Galvantula, Dodge, Duck, Dip, Dive, Dodge. An interesting turn 1 there. I'm gonna be aggressive and go for the Thunder again, even though it's not going to hit it for weakness. But I do deal a crap ton of damage to it, and I get the Paralysis, which I am not opposed to paralyzing a Greninja, especially because it could be an Ashes. It is a Protean, but you never know. He's going to go for the Toxic Spikes, and like I said, that's what sucks about this team is it does not have a Defogger. And if you can think of another slot to replace Mimikyu, I mean, let me know. Let me know in the comments. I went with Mimikyu just because I needed a Z-Move user. And Mimikyu's just awesome. Like I said, usually he just sits in my box. And when I pull him out, it's just a lot of fun. He's going to bring in his Chandelure, and Thunder is going to put it at almost 50% health. And he goes for the Will-O-Wisp, which was a little weird. I'm surprised he went for the Will-O-Wisp. Maybe he expected me to switch into Tyranitar. Which is, I mean, yeah, thinking about it now, that's probably something I should have done, but I'm glad I didn't. Going for the Thunder again, and this time I get the Parahacks on the Chandelure, but putting it, I mean, it's already at such low health that that's not really going to matter. Fire Blast is finally going to knock my Galvantula right out of the match. But yeah, I mean, at that low health, Chandelure, it doesn't matter if it's paralyzed or not, especially because I still got Ash's Greninja here, or, I still got Greninja. I can Water Shuriken, Dark Pulse, whatever. I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse, and I'm going to knock it out of the match, proccing the Battle Bond and getting me Ash's Greninja on the field. So I don't want to put too much of my team out here, though, because there's Toxic Spikes. I mean, they already poisoned my Greninja. They're slowly going to wear him down. And, I mean, that's, like I said, it's just a bad thing. So now he's going to bring in his ugly Pikachu, which, I mean, obviously that's a Mimikyu nickname. And, but look at that. The Sticky Web is going to kill its speed. And the Sticky Web doesn't just affect, or it doesn't just benefit Mega Garchomp. It benefits your team entirely. It is an awesome freaking toolbox entry hazard that a lot of people hate. A lot of people in the OU tier do not like Sticky Web because if it stays in the field, it just can kill your entire team. It can lose games. It can make you lose games. And it just sucks. Which is why, I mean, Defoggers just run rampant in the OU tier over Rapid Spinners. I'm going to go ahead and set up my Stealth Rocks. He brings in Togekiss. So I'm expecting a Defog to come. Just because, I mean, it's Togekiss. And it's his only flying type on this team that could probably have Defog. I'm going to bring in Mega Tyranitar, or not Mega Tyranitar. I'm going to bring in Tyranitar, though, just in case he goes for a Thunder Wave or something like that. He decides to be aggressive. But, I was right. He ended up going for the Defog and getting rid of my entry hazards. So, I mean, there's another match where my Sticky Web, my Stealth Rocks, they don't stick, they're gone. I lost Galvantula, so I can't get Sticky Web back up. I still have Garchomp, so if I have to, I can get Rocks back up. And I mean, at the point in the game when you lose your web, you kind of have to rely on Ash's Greninja. Mega Garchomp can take hits, but if you lose the web, it's hard for Mega Garchomp to gain any momentum because your opponents outspeed it. It's very easy to outspeed. It sucks that when it Mega Evolves, it loses a few points in its speed stat because it kind of just makes it borderline unusable because if it's not fast enough to do any damage, it's not going to see play, which it hardly ever does. He brings in the Metagross, and I know he's going to Mega Evolve it. I'm going to switch out, not wanting to lose Tyranitar just yet. I need to keep my stand up, and I'm going to bring in Skarmory, that awesome defensive wall that's just going to tank this whatever is coming at it. It's just going to tank it. It's going to tank it like a champ. And Bullet Punch is not going to do anything to my Skarmory, and the Rocky Helmet damage is just going to do some little wear and tear on a Mega Metagross. So I was kind of a jerk here at this point in the match. Because, I mean, you'll see, and you'll probably, I pray to God y'all don't unsubscribe to me, but I had no real reason to switch Skarmory out here. I mean, look at he's got, what, 5 Pokemon left? He's got Mega Metagross, who, with Reflect, Stealth Rock, and Bullet Punch, I don't know what the heck this thing has on it for movesets, but I'm betting that last move is got to be Meteor Mash or something. So his Mega Metagross cannot touch my Skarmory. His Togekiss probably can't touch my Skarmory. Although Togekiss does learn some special attacks. And maybe it did because he brought it in, probably trying to Flamethrower it or Thunderbolt it or something. But I went for the Whirlwind because, like I said, I'm just being a jerk. I've got no real reason to switch out here. I really don't. He's going to bring in his Whirlwind's going to bring in Mimikyu. And I know that Skarmory is going to wall Mimikyu all day. Mimikyu can't really do much to a Skarmory. So, in the terms of Mega Metagross, Mimikyu, the Togekiss, Skarmory is safe from 3 of these Pokemon. And I'm going to go for the Brave Bird just to break the disguise and get rid of it. He went for the Swords Dance. But instead of going for the Whirlwind, I wanted to break the disguise. Because when you're facing a Mimikyu, you want to get rid of the disguise as soon as you can. A Leech Life is not going to do anything to Skarmory. I've never seen Leech Life on a Mimikyu, but that's not going to do anything to Skarmory. And Skarmory's just going to shrug it off. So now I'm going to go ahead and go for the Whirlwind again. Because, I mean, like I said, I've got no reason to switch. He's got a Greninja that's paralyzed, so if he brings it out, I'll just Brave Bird it to death because I outspeed it. And, I mean, I probably could have switched out a long time ago into anything, rather than just dragging this match along. This was just bad playing on my part because even my opponent in chat was like, "Oh man, you're trolling me." He wasn't too upset about it though. I mean, he understood that I had no real reason to switch out Skarmory, and if anything, it's on him. I mean, this Metagross should at least know Thunder Punch or something. Because, I mean, Metagross has an awesome... Metagross in general has an awesome move pool. I don't even understand how it's in the RU tier. Because, in my opinion, it's just really good. And I also don't understand how Metagross is in the Uber tier. Because, well, I just don't. He's not that good. At least I don't think so. I never had problems with him. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Roost. Bringing my Skarmory at full health. Putting me back in sturdy range. So if he does find a way to hit me with an Oko attack, I'll live with 1 health. He's going to bring back in the Togekiss, and I'm just going to Whirlwind, keeping it going, bringing in the Mega Metagross. And I should have... Oh, I did put my entry hazard. I was say I should have put my entry hazards back out, but I did because, you know, he's getting Stealth Rock damage. He's going to go back into the Greninja, just getting tired of my crap. And the Stealth Rocks are going to put it in the red. I switch out at the same time, so I finally switch out, bringing in my own Greninja. I should have done this a long time ago. This is, like I said, I feel like a jerk. I'm going to bring in my own Greninja and just go for the, I think I go for the Ice Beam here. Yeah, I go for the Ice Beam because he still has a Haxorus left, which Haxorus still couldn't even do anything to Skarmory. So he's going to bring in the Haxorus, and at that health, I went for the Ice Beam just in case he brought in something else like Togekiss. So Ice Style, Ice Beam Jutsu is going to knock this Haxorus right out of the match and getting rid of it. And now we're moving along here in the match. Now we're getting the momentum on my side of the table instead of just fooling around and being a jerk. I'm sorry, guys, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry to my opponent. That's a jerk move. I'll learn not to do that. I'm nom on that berry to put his Togekiss at a lot of health, not full health, but it's back in the green. But Ice Beam is going to take it right out of the match. So eating that berry was all for naught. And now, I mean, at this point in the game, the battle's pretty much won by me. The momentum is going completely on my side of the field. That Reflect wore off, which that didn't matter because Ash's Greninja is a special attacker. And at less than 50% health, I know if he Shadow Sneaks, it's not going to take out Ash's Greninja. So I'm just going to go for the Ice Beam. He does not go for the Shadow Sneak, which surprised the heck out of me. I figured he would have. But that's a weird Mimikyu because, like I said, it had Leech Life, and I've never seen a Mimikyu with Leech Life. He's going to bring in his own Greninja, and Ice Beam is going to take it out of the match at that point with such low health. So Ice Beam knocking his Greninja out of the match. I'm going to assume that's an Ash's Greninja, but it doesn't matter because I don't got to worry about it. It's out. And look at that. Like I said, those Toxic Spikes are slowly wearing me down. I did say I had to be careful when I did, and I thought I was pretty careful. I thought I did a pretty good job this match with not switching as much, and that's probably one reason why I just kept Skarmory in. I didn't want another Pokemon to get poisoned, and I was just waiting for a good opportunity to, a good window to make my move. I felt like I did. I mean, I was trolling him, but I also felt like I did a good, smart decision there. Bullet Punch is going to knock out my Ash's Greninja, as you just saw, and at that low health, there's no way that it's going to be able to live an Earthquake from a Mega Garchomp. So Mega Evolving Garchomp, and then Earthquake is going to knock this Mega Metagross right out of the match. You'll also notice in these battles, Ash's Greninja sees a lot more action than my Garchomp does, which it's the opposite in Showdown. In Showdown, I actually do get a lot more opportunities to use my Garchomp. But yeah, that was just something I noticed. Moving on to the next battle against Brian, and this team looks more OU than anything, but I did notice a Swampert without rain, and if this is OU, then he's got a Mega Swampert without a Rainmaker, which is weird. But I like this match. This is one of my favorite matches. Out of the 4 that are in here, this one's my favorite. Going with Galvantula as he leads with Magearna. He's going to switch out, surprisingly, and I'm going to go ahead and go for the Sticky Web just to get my entry hazards up and just slow his team down for the rest of the match, and hopefully they stick. He's going to switch out, though, going in with the Heatran. And I'm going to bring back Galvantula. I don't want to lose Galvantula just yet because maybe just in case he has a defogger or if I can use Galvantula, I'm going to bring him back and just to be safe. You never know. He's going to go for the Magma Storm, but holding an Assault Vest, that's not going to do anything to Tyranitar there. Tyranitar's just going to flex at it, laugh at it. That's not going to do anything. Now he's got to switch out because I can Earthquake in return. I can Rock Slide, which Rock Slide's not going to do anything to it. But, Earthquake's the move he's more worried about. He's going to bring in that Swampert, and I went for the Ice Punch thinking he might bring in Landorus because I did see a Landorus. Ice Punch doing a very good amount of damage, not as much as I like. I'm going to bring Galvantula in, and I know I took a risk here because my focus dash is up, but Mega Swampert hits freaking hard, rain or not. He's going to Mega Evolve and go for the Waterfall. And moment of truth out here because the Sandstorm is up. Waterfall doing a crap ton of damage to my Galvantula, putting it at 11 health. And then after getting buffeted by the Sandstorm, I live with 2 health, going for the Giga Drain to knock the Swampert out of the match. And that was awesome. I'm so glad I was able to pull that off. In OU, in the OU tier, over the UU tier, for crying out loud. He's going to go with his Landorus, who's got a very offensive name. And I'm going to go ahead and go for the Giga Drain, not doing anything to it. And like I said, my Galvantula did not know Hidden Power Ice here. I really wish it did, because this would have ended a lot differently. Rock Slide, it's going to knock my Galvantula out of the match. I need to make that change like now, or I'll just make a separate Galvantula, because I do want, I do need a Galvantula that's just for OU and then for my RU and UU teams. He's going to go for the bulk up against my Mimikyu, and I'm going to go ahead and go for the Swords Dance. I thought he was going to actually go for the U-turn or something to break my decoy, but instead he's attempting to set up here. But I think a Z-move will do the trick. Or he could go for the U-turn, rendering the status, the bulk up he just did, useless. And he's going to go ahead and U-turn, getting some pivot tempo and bringing in Magearna, which I'm okay with, because I know after a Swords Dance, usually after a Swords Dance, going for the Z move, Magearna cannot handle going through the Portal of Truth, and it usually gets OHKO'd. So we're gonna go for the Never Ending Nightmare, because just from my experience, it usually works out that way. It usually works out that it's an OHKO, and I use the right Never Ending Nightmare this time. I use the Shadow Claw, Never Ending Nightmare, OHKOing the Magearna and taking it out of the match. That's awesome. Magearna cannot handle going through the Portal of Truth. He's going to bring in that Magnezone, and it's probably holding a Choice Scarf, but the Sticky Web doing what it does, lowering that speed and rendering the Choice Scarf useless. Shadow Claw putting Magnezone in the red, and Flash Cannon is going to take my Mimikyu out of the match, which that's fine. Mimikyu got rid of Magearna with that Z move, and he put that Magnezone at such low health, there's not really much it can do. And I was also able to keep Skarmory at bay here. When you see a Magnezone, if you have a Skarmory or other Steel type, you got to be careful, guys. You got to keep it at bay. Earthquake hitting the Magnezone for ×4 weakness and taking it out of the match. So there goes Magnezone. Now if I need to, I can bring Skarmory in without worry, because that's one reason why I didn't bring Skarmory in to even attempt to set up the Stealth Rocks. I knew he had Magnezone, and I did not want to lose Skarmory. He's going to go for the Scald, trying to get a burn, and that does not do anything to Tyranitar because of that Assault Vest. Rock Slide, putting Greninja in the orange, and then getting buffeted by the Sandstorm. You could, like I said, you could go with Stone Edge, but be careful, guys. It is called Stone Mist. I can't stress that enough. I know I say it a lot in all my videos, but you got to be careful with Stone Edge, because when it misses, it sucks. He's going to bring in the Landorus, hitting me with an Intimidate, and I'm going to go for the Rock Slide. I could have gone with Ice Punch, I guess, but I didn't think he was going to switch Greninja out. He's going to go for the U-turn, putting me at 4 freaking health. Tyranitar just does not want to go down this match. He's just staying up as much as he can and trying to wreck face. I had a feeling, though, he was going to go for the U-turn, and I did not want to switch out. So I went for the Earthquake. And Earthquake is going to almost take Greninja out of the match, but it's going to get buffeted in the face by the Sandstorm, and that is going to seal the deal with Greninja. That was a big risk there, going for an Earthquake against a Flying type, but I had a feeling he was going to switch out here, or he was going to go for a U-turn, so I stayed in, and I knew I would live at least one more. I'm going to bring back Tyranitar because he has no entry hazards up, and at 4 health, Tyranitar can maybe still wreck some face in this game. Rock Slide, doing nothing to my Skarmory, and if I have to, I can set up my Stealth Rocks, even though, he's only got 2 Pokemon left. I don't know how much of a difference it would make. So I could switch. I could set up my Stealth Rocks. And I kind of figured he would either switch or go for the U-turn. Thankfully, he did not go for the U-turn. And I'm going to switch out my Skarmory to bring Tyranitar back in, getting my Sandstorm up in case I need to bring Garchomp in. And now I kind of got my opponent thinking in his head, like, what's he going to do? And he kept Heatran in. Earthquake hitting it for times 4 weakness and taking it out of the match, which, thinking about it now, having Heatran and Magnezone on the same team, that's ballsy. 2 Pokemon that are times 4 weak to ground-type moves, and ground-type moves are everywhere in every tier. Hitting it with an Intimidate, hitting it with Intimidate again, but all he has left is a Slanderous. So U-turn is going to take out my Tyranitar, and I still got Greninja to knock it out of the match. So I don't got to worry too much about it. All he has left is Landorus. It's not Choice Scarf. I don't even know what item it was holding. Maybe it was a Z move. I'm not sure. But Ice Style, Ice Beam Jutsu, knocking Landorus out of the match, giving me the win against Brian. Good game, Brian. That was awesome. And in this last battle against H, looking at his team, he's got a Lopunny and a Charizard, which Charizard is not the Mega. It's got to be Lopunny. So a base Charizard, that's something you don't see every day. He's got an Electivire too. Electivire is an awesome Pokemon, and it sucks that it got knocked down a few tiers because I thought it was always a lot of fun, especially with that Motor Drive ability. And for those of you that don't know, Motor Drive is an ability of Pokemon. If a Pokemon with Motor Drive gets hit with an electric attack, it will not do any damage and get a speed boost. Starting the match off with my Galvantula, he's going to go with his Lopunny. That put me in a bad spot because I know he's going to fake out, breaking my sash, and then he can return and take me out, which I don't want that. So I'm going to bring back Galvantula and set up my entry hazards another time. Bringing in Skarmory because I know he's going to fake out, and it's not going to do much to Skarmory, and he'll take some Rocky Helmet damage. So, I mean, residual damage is the way to go, guys. Look at that. Good little chunk out of Mega Lopunny's health there because of that Rocky Helmet. He's going to switch out, going with Azumarill. And, yeah, I'm going to set up my entry hazards here. And here's where you guys got to learn this. You guys got to pay attention. Pay attention, boys and girls. He's going to go for the Z Belly Drum. And against a Skarmory, that's a no-no. Especially a Skarmory that's almost at full health. Because I think I took some damage to the fake out. So he's going to go for the Z Belly Drum. And I kind of had a feeling he was either going to go for the Z Belly Drum or the Belly Drum. So I went for the Whirlwind, and yeah, he just wasted his Z move. So, sucks for him. But yeah, don't try and set up against a Skarmory like that, guys. You gotta lower Skarmory's health or get it out of the match completely. He's one of the walls of Jericho. He can just tank all day. You gotta watch out for him. I'm gonna bring in my Tyranitar because, well, this is a base Charizard, and I don't see it doing much of anything to Tyranitar. Fire Blast, and Tyranitar just laughs at it. Just takes it like a champ. But Mega Charizard's move library isn't that bad. Brick Break, hitting it for times 4 damage, and I still am surprisingly in the match. But it's going to dodge, duck, dip, dive, dodge on that Rock Slide. So, I mean, I don't even have Stone Edge, and Rock Slide still misses, which sucks, because that would have taken Charizard out. I'm going to bring in Skarmory. I'm trying to just toy with his head a little bit. He's going to go for the Brick Break, thinking I was going to keep Tyranitar in, and Rocky Helmet damage is going to do what it does best. Get buffeted by the Sandstorm, putting it in the red. I'm slowly going to wear it down, just mess with my opponent's mind, making him think, what am I going to do here? I go back into Tyranitar, knowing that he was going to go for the Fire Blast to try and take Skarmory out. And Tyranitar just laughs at it as usual. So now I'm in my opponent's head, and I got to get him thinking, what's he going to do? He goes for the Fire Blast, thinking I'm going to go for Skarmory, and now I can confidently take this Charizard out of the match with a Crunch. I don't even got to go for the Rock Slide and worry about missing. At that low health, Crunch will do the job. But I lose my Sandstorm. I need the Sandstorm for Mega Garchomp, and it's still too early in the match. So I'm going to bring Abominant back. I don't want to die to an Aqua Jet or a Play Rough or a Waterfall or Liquidation or any of that. And I'm going to bring Skarmory back in just because I know Skarmory will laugh all day at Azumarill. Aqua Jet doing nothing to Skarmory, and the Rocky Helmet is just going to plink the Azumarill and just wear it down. That sucks, man. That sucks that he wasted that Azumarill like that. It's pretty much practically no good at this point. He's going to go for his Garchomp. I didn't need to Roost. I could have been aggressive. I should have been aggressive, actually. I should have gone for the Brave Bird. At that health, I didn't need to Roost. So now he brought in his Garchomp. I'm going to switch out, bringing in Greninja, because I'm not quite sure what he's going to do. He's going to go for the Swords Dance. And thinking about it now, switching into Greninja, that was a ballsy move. I could have easily lost Greninja here. But I outspeed that Garchomp, thankfully. He's going to switch it out, going into Azumarill. The Stealth Rock damage are going to put it in the red, and at this point I went with Ice Beam because I knew no matter what he'd go into, I'd take it out. Ice Style, Ice Beam Jutsu, knocking Azumarill out of the match, procking the Battle Bond, and now I get Nash's Greninja. So it all worked out. I really, that was just a ballsy move. I really should not have done that. I mean, well, no, because he could have gone for the Fire Fang. So I guess it worked out. But still, I still feel like I shouldn't have done that rewatching this video. He's going to bring in his Lopunny. I don't want Fake Out to do a crap ton of damage, so I'm going to bring in Skarmory because I still got Skarmory up. And if he goes for the Fake Out, cool. If he goes for the High Jump Kick, cool. Fake Out, doing nothing to Skarmory, and that Rocky Helmet damage is just going to keep wearing down that Lopunny. So like I said, this team is actually, it moves along pretty well. And I'm not as upset when I lose in Showdown, because usually when I lose it's because I made bad predictions or stupid mistakes. Whereas usually sometimes in Showdown I'll get frustrated with the team because, yeah, the team I put together is just actually not that great. I was hoping he would stay in. I went for the Brave Bird, being aggressive on that Lopunny. But he switched out into Garchomp. I'm still okay with doing some damage from Brave Bird. That did a good amount of damage. And then the Dragon Rush, which is a move you don't see on Garchomp, and is going to make my Skarmory flinch. But hey, that Life Orb damage, that Rocky Helmet damage, it's doing work. It's slowly wearing down his physical attackers. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Galvantula, because if he Dragon Rushes, that's fine. He has no entry hazards up. My Focus Sash will proc. And sure enough, Dragon Rush is going to put my Galvantula at 1. But I can I'm finally comfortable enough to get Sticky Web up and lose Galvantula. Galvantula did his job here. Sticky Web going out, and now, I mean, that's all she wrote. Galvantula, your job is done. Your purpose has been served. Fire Fang knocking it out of the match. But that's fine. I don't see it. I don't think I saw a defogger. I know there's no Rapid Spinner on that team. That web's there to stay. And there's nothing my opponent can do anything about it. I cannot talk because it's so freaking late, so forgive me. I know I don't make sense. Water Shoot again, knocking out the Garchomp. Staraptor is coming out, and it's going to take some damage here from the Stealth Rocks. I'm going to keep Greninja in, and let's just see how this plays out. Water Shoot again, hitting it for 1, and that's a critical hit. That's awesome. Hitting it for 2, and then can I get a 3rd? Yes, I can! Knocking the Staraptor right out of the match. That's awesome. That critical hit was a big, big factor in that, though. He's going to bring in his Lopunny, so I know I'm going to lose a good chunk of health here to the Fake Out, which I'm okay with that. I know Mega Lopunny does not have the best defenses, though, so I'm hoping a Water Shuriken will do the job. I'm going to keep Greninja in, and just, no guts, no glory. Let's see what it does. I'm going to go ahead and flinch to the Fake Out, which, you all knew that was coming. And Water Shuriken, hitting Lopunny once, and then twice. One more time will do the job, and a 3rd time to take it out of the match. Man, Ash's Greninja is just doing work. I still got Garchomp in the wing. I still got Mimikyu in the wing. Ash Greninja is just tearing this team up. And, I mean, like I said, guys, Ash's Greninja is just a very good Pokemon on this team. It's good. It's a good Pokemon on any team, but you can't just throw a bunch of Pokemon together and expect them to work together. Pokemon that complement each other are the best kind, and that's how you put together a good team. I feel like this is a solid team, and if I make it higher in the tiers, I'll let y'all know. He's finally going to take my Ash's Greninja out of the match with a Wild Charge, and that's fine. If I hit one more time getting that 4th attack, that would have been funny, actually. The Electivire is like at 1 health, if that. So I'm going to bring in Mega Garchomp. I had my web up, so I know I outspeed it. Mega Evolving Mega Garchomp, and then I'm going to go for the Earthquake to knock his Electivire out of the match. So I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. It was a lot of fun for me. I'll do more breakdowns like this when I get the chance. And, yeah, I appreciate y'all watching. I know it's been a while since I put another video out, but that's just because I've been so busy. So comment, rate, and subscribe, guys. If y'all want to battle me, join my Discord. That's the easiest way. But you have my social media sites on my YouTube. Look them up in the description. Look up the team in the description. I will check you guys later. Bye-bye!